Welcome people back to Let's Play Shining Wisdom, and now we're going to use the Angel Wing to teleport to our house, and from now on do several side things, because now we have the mole gloves, and we can access a lot of goodies.
Yeah, there have been a
off to
lot
the
of
side.
places that have been like, look at this place where if only you could dig under the wall, you'd be able to go here. Ooh, doesn't it look nice?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really nice that they put those, and pretty much most of places where you'll see sand, you actually get something special there. Like for example here.
Well this... Oh!
Yeah, they really do not give you any sort of indication. Like
Some of them have been very obvious, like you can see the wall, you can see the sand. But that one I did not... Okay. Alright, buddy. Back off with the pinchers.
Just gonna walk away. Yeah, they spawn enemies right on top of you. This is that's just Shining Wisdom. But you can run into them and kill them. Like
Shining
that.
Wisdom. Shining Wisdom. You're a bottom. Anyway.
I remember when I started playing this, and I just didn't understand that you were supposed to ignore the enemies and just walk around, use herbs, walk around some more, and just run into them.
That's very unintuitive for a veteran of JRPGs.
That's true. I have no idea how you're actually supposed to get into this thing, because it's very obvious that you're supposed to, but none of the abilities that I get even later on help me with that. But yeah, I remember when I was first playing, I was joking that who the fuck came up with the name Shining Wisdom? This is more like Shining fucking Stupid.
Oh snap!
Because I was very salty about what they require you to do and what have you. Thankfully, even
I witnessed a lot of that metamorphosis. Yes.
Yes. Too bad that all of the things that you get from, like most of the things that you get from the chests, are really just throwaway items that you can get anyway.
Yeah, it kind of makes it so that if I was playing through this, I just wouldn't bother.
Yeah, and then there are heart containers, which are very important because eventually some of the bosses can do more than 3 little flames of damage. So
Right.
yeah, that's a thing.
I like to think of that as the fire of adventure burning deep inside your soul.
The soul fire. Yes, there was another thing that we will be able to get in this forest.
Hey, when there's like an extended period of downtime, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But go on.
But no, like this game did a really good job with like making you pay attention to these, because usually when you get around this like this point, for example, you'll see it leads somewhere else, and we get another one of those extra lives. Like if I were to run out of my life, that I would come back with so many hearts.
You got another fairy.
Mm-hmm. Well, not really a fairy. It's like it's like a conjoined fairy with all of the other fairies that live inside my adventurer's soul. We still have no idea.
You got a fairy that doesn't need a bottle.
Exactly. It only needs to sleep. That's how you refill it. I believe there may also be another way of refilling it, but I'm not 100% on that. Because there are those items like the bottles with various healing thingamajigs that I have never ever used. And here is actually something that I really like. This is how the guy at the beginning of the game actually got into the castle.
Mm.
It's a rather pointless, like from like usefulness to you, it's pointless. But from a narrative perspective, it's really nice that they actually shown, oh, so this is how he actually managed to get here.
I'm pretty sure he got there by airship.
No, he was digging through. You
No,
remember the
he got
elf?
there by airship because he was allied with the weirdly technologically advanced neighbor that represented a lack of respect for the natural order of things.
Sexy henchmen, kill them, leave the boy alive. But yeah, you may have noticed that now, as we travel around the castle, there are earthquakes.
Is it because you've been digging underneath the castle?
Maybe.
Because they've come up with a lot of complicated explanations here. I'm pretty sure it's because you've been digging under the walls of the castle.
I mean, it's been the second time somebody tried to the second time somebody dug under it. But yeah, this is I mostly come here just to, you know, show get the extras. You don't actually need to like you don't actually need to go to the castle all that often to like tell what you've been doing or what have you. I could have just went to the next dungeon, but there are still things around the city which I needed to get, so you know, may as well show it off. Unless you get
there's dialogue that you're missing otherwise. So
there is also that, but what I mean is this game doesn't really have anything in terms of ambiguous flags. It's like how many JRPG style games have, where it's like, oh, you can't progress past this point. You won't be able to go inside the dungeon until you have talked to this random ass NPC. That gives you no indication why it's even important that you talk to him.
yeah, you can just kind of wander your way through this game without really listening to what people say if you go to the right places.
And get all of the items. And what's also really nice is you can actually go to all of the elemental dungeons even before they become fully explorable. There's never going to be
You'll get
anybody
stuck. But you can go there.
like you can go there, and there is going to be an information right as you enter the dungeon. Turn back if you don't have the thing, like for example freeze orb or fire orb. You can still explore the dungeon, you're just not gonna get very far. But it's the mechanics that prevent you from doing so, and not some bitch telling you, "Oh Mars, you can't get into the dungeon, it's too dangerous for you." Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're just looking out for your well-being, and you really should eat more vegetables.
I have all of the herbs, and the herbs are important. They go very well with honey lattes, and that's what Shining Wisdom. Well, no, actually, it's Shining Force Neo. That's what taught me about the herbs and honey lattes. It's kind of a running joke. Shining Force Neo has like some of the worst dialogue and story and like just overall ever. The gameplay is amazing, but like the story is hilariously bad.
So in Skyrim, if you do the Dark Brotherhood quest, you can befriend the insane jester Cicero.
Yeah.
And if he's following you around, he tells a bunch of terrible, terrible jokes all the time. But also one of the things he says is, "Cicero is hungry. I need a sweet roll or a carrot." And so anytime anyone says anything about food, all I can think of is, well, they should have had a sweet roll or a carrot.
Definitely.
Those are the two things that fill you up the most. Anyway, are we in a new dungeon now, or
no, we've been here before.
Okay, then I'm gonna say my little bit that I was gonna say earlier. So I'm watching Kuroko no Basketball with Jeff. It is such a sports anime, and I love that because in sports anime you don't have to pay attention to anything, because if you're watching a normal anime and you don't pay attention for a few seconds, you'll be completely lost for the rest of the show. If you're watching a sports anime and you stop paying attention, later on they'll just be playing basketball. You don't have to, like, it's not going to be confusing. Why are they playing basketball? Right. So sports anime is great for that. But it's very funny and ridiculous. But I'm guessing that the 90s basketball anime that I found called Slam Dunk is going to be way better because it's got all that 90s exaggerated, everyone falls over all the time after everyone says anything. And it appears to be more comedic in its slant and less super moves fighting anime, but it's basketball. Like Kuroko no Basketball.
Here is one important thing. Which is hop the village over the water to reach the opposite side. Yeah. That's a hint for later, but right now we have to use slide shoes with electricity and slide into this. If it doesn't
charge your slide.
Yes, it actually does more damage to the enemies, but still not a very good attack.
And that let you teleport, or what?
There are special tiles that teleport you around, and I wanted to bring attention to it because while it seems simple on paper, it has a very particular, and there is a monkey in the air.
He is scaring me.
It is horrible. It's like one of those wind-up toys that look at you in the night.
Toy Story.
Yes, but why I wanted to bring attention to it. It has a very particular hitbox, so you may be doing the right thing, but it won't register. So just keep trying.
Is the sprite a good demonstration of where the hitbox is, or is it slightly off?
Hard to tell. Like in my 2 playthroughs of the game, it will work most of the times, but I did have one moment where I was doing it the right way, but it just wouldn't register until I moved slightly to the left, even though it seemed like I was hitting it,
Uh-huh.
And hello there.
Oh my goodness. What's with those grabby hands? They're not doing anything.
Well, they're not doing anything because I didn't get close enough for him.
Is he gonna grab you and smooch you?
Thankfully not.
Oh.
And here we have slide shoes. I do wish this game had like
fast switch. I mean, Camelot has some money, but this game has no fans. I was gonna say, whenever they make remakes of games from this era, that's what they do. Like the old Mega Man games, when they make remakes of them, make fast switches between the weapons.
Yeah, I wish there was a. I mean, I kind of understand why they did it like this. Like I said before, it's more of a problem with the. Jesus Christ! It's more of a problem with loading from disk and memory than anything else, because they have to have a separate sprite for every single weapon.
Right. But if they made a remake of this, that wouldn't
be a problem. Yes.
But they won't, because nobody.
In the water labyrinth. Now this place is full of slidiness.
Uh-huh.
And actually, it's not all that bad. The sliding controls are actually.
No, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying this is very, very, very ice in the dark world in Link to the Past.
And this is what he does. He just fingers you.
Oh wow. Nico, that's got subtext, what you said just there. Anyway.
I know.
It's very erratic. Erotic movements, right?
It's very erotic. Yes, exactly. That's the word that I wanted to use.
Why did you? I was about to say, why did you blow the one up and then go blow the other one up? Like,
because there were more bombs.
Them?
Yeah, they will often, if you see them, they will often just hide some secrets. Or progression. So you just need to blow them up, and usually they give you enough bombs. And if you happen to waste them,
I do like the idea in both this and Link to the Past that you have gloves that make you super strong, but only in the sense that you can lift things. You can't punch things, or smash things, or anything
No,
like
I
that.
mean, you have different gloves for punching. You have different boots for smashing. He's very specialized and specific when it comes to these things, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta match
He's
your outfit to your purpose.
Yeah, like Mars, he needs to have he's the kind of person who would have a cell phone, an MP3 player, uh, and uh, and like an MP4 player all at once.
Oh
You
my
know,
god. Yeah.
for each specific thing.
And they tell you, and they always have a reason
Hmm.
for just keeping them separate, and you're like, yeah, but you had to pay for all of that, and then you had to bother with all of that, and like, no, trust me.
Trust me, it's like a by 20. Like it has so much more battery life, and like the compression is a little bit better.
I will say, MP3s do have some audio faults. Like, they're not as good as some other forms of storing. They're compressed.
Definitely. But at the time when they became very relevant,
They were way better than the alternatives, which up to that point had been pretty much MIDIs. So
there was that, and there was also the fact that if you wanted to actually use CD quality audio, well, then you had to walk very carefully to actually listen them on the go.
true.
Oh, and here we have one of the most vicious parts of this dungeon. First of all, we need to get rid of the enemies over there that way. Hello there. You weren't alive a moment ago.
Nice job getting rid of them. Neek.
Exactly. But yeah, we need to get rid of at least this guy. And once we have enough speed and life, we have to run across this.
Aha.
And while we could progress or straight ahead, and that's the general idea, that's why I actually pressed the button, and why I now have to come back, because the button wasn't actually for the floor. It was for this.
What?
Like before we entered the room to the side, there was a
What are these?
they're violent clouds of hate. At least that's what I feel they are. You can't enter. You can't enter most of the rooms to the sides. They will just close right in front of you, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, you can come back here. This is why I shown the thing over there.
I would not like all this sliding business when you're trying to accelerate.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Well, thankfully, if you actually just want to progress, they don't actually require you to make a turn while sliding on top of a very thin piece of ground. They're not that mean.
Oh, true. You haven't had any areas like this where you've got a thin bit over or something.
And it was made out of ice.
Right.
And like I said, the acceleration, there is a lot of levels to how fast you're going. Jesus Christ!
Nice
I could have
job.
actually gotten rid of a lot of them. I just didn't think about it. The best way to get rid of the lily pads is to equip gloves, equip electricity thingamajig, and then you throw sparks into the water and it kills them all instantly.
Oh, it actually works that way, huh?
Yes, they actually thought about that.
It's Divinity, the original sin, but 15 years earlier. 20 years earlier?
This is 1995, so yeah, probably even.
So 15 years earlier. A little more.
Yeah, Divinity Original Sin 1 was like 2015, I want to say.
No. You might have played in 2015, but it must have been at least 13. Well, maybe 14. Hold on. Anyway, keep going.
I think it was like either 13 or 14. I know I did play. I played
14.
it like fairly late. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was 14. So this was about 20 years earlier.
Mm-hmm. And now we're actually going to the way that we're supposed to for progress. And now...
That doesn't sound like you, Nico. If I know one thing about you, it's that you don't like progress. You're a conservative, not a progressive.
And this is a little maze, but thankfully it's not very. It's actually fairly easy to progress through it. If you see any room to the side or a room where just fucking go away.
How annoying.
But yeah, you can progress through this maze to the end of the dungeon. There are still some extras that I want to pick up before I get out of here, because otherwise you just have to go back, or just not get extra lives if you want.
Because Nico is the completionist. He's Gerard Khalil, the Dragon Rider.
No, I am a finishist.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're gonna 120% Shining Wisdom.
No, actually, the funny thing about Shining Wisdom, it is actually possible to over 100% it.
Does it actually have a percentage completion?
It has percentage completion, but it only refers to how many items you have.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I was actually going to the end of the dungeon. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, I am
figured
going
out
to...
who this is. This is Puddleglum from the Chronicles of Narnia.
This is Bimbo, and his boss fight is actually very similar to how it was before. It's just that now there are also these lily pads. You just need to run straight into him, bap him, while being murdered.
Puddleglum from the Chronicles of Narnia was played by a guy who played Doctor Who. I think his name was Tom Baker.
Asshole. He teleported exactly where he was.
He juked you good, and you triple died to yourself.
I triple drowned, and as it was with all of his other boss fights,
you attacked that water head on.
Eventually, the ocean will die.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yes. And now we have Freeze Orb. Freeze Orb is actually very, very important.
Can you run across water now?
In some places, yes.
Only shallow water, probably.
Yes, it looks different. So that's actually it's actually very well established which kind of places you can use it on. It's not really that's the one nice thing about most of the dungeons. Well, there are a few where you still need to use just acquired power to get something, and on I want to say 2 occasions it's actually required for progression. And here I was just checking if I got everything, and now I can just leave.
What an adventure!
Mm-hmm. It's
still not as good as Link to the Past, though.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yet.